Good afternoon, everyone. We are having masterclass on the DigiLocker and EntityLocker adoption workshop. Let's welcome our speaker, Mr. Karan Tandon, Senior Manager, NEGD, MeitY, Government of India.
I hope I'm audible to everyone. Right? Okay, we're getting more guests. Just waiting for everybody to settle in, then we'll start. I hope I'm audible to everyone. Yeah, sure. Thank you. So, DigiLocker is not an unknown name to almost. We are catering to almost 1/3 of the India's population, so it's not a new name that everybody's not at. Can I just have a show of hands? How many people know about DigiLocker? I don't think I need to speak about it then, right? Okay. So basically, why DigiLocker was envisioned was that this is what we call as an Indian stack. We are trying to give different solutions from the government to the primary reason being ease of doing business. So as you know, for presenceless layer, we already have Aadhaar. For cashless, UPI has taken over. And for paperless layer, we introduced DigiLocker back in 2015. And for entities now, there's a new offering called EntityLocker, which we'll discuss later on. So the primary use case of DigiLocker is this is what we call as a human life cycle. From birth till the end, there are various documents that are issued to an individual, starting from birth certificates, education documents, then driving licenses, job cards, then utility bills, insurance documents, legal wills and all, and then at the end there's a death certificate. So what we have tried to do is there are different departments issuing these documents. And to get access to these documents was a big pain for a citizen, especially if they've lost or they want to get something updated. So, but now we realize that at DigiLocker, at MeitY, that all of these departments are custodians of the digital data of these documents. So the data should hold validity, not that physical document. That is what we have tried to cater in the DigiLocker platform, that all of these databases should come to a basic, it is basically a hub and spoke model, that all these databases should come to a common point and they should be able to share their data. Because the citizen is the rightful owner of the data, so with his consent, he should be able to access this data. That is what DigiLocker provides. So if you can see, as I mentioned, the hub and spoke model, we have kept DigiLocker in the center, and through APIs, we have connected various departments, government and private, ranging from education to e-districts, to identity-related documents, and more, and all of these different ministries are connected to this common platform called DigiLocker. What we have tried to do is we are not storing data of these different databases. What we've done is we are in real time pulling this data from these individual departments. So with the citizen's consent, you are able to get all of these right on the fly in real time, and this is validated directly from the source of truth. That is what DigiLocker is catering to. So now to get this solution is easy, that we made an application, we made a website where these databases are linked. Now the thing is adoption. So what we managed to do is, if you can see, these are notifications from various ministries and departments that have said that if a document is coming from DigiLocker, it should be accepted. So they have issued various regulations and notifications to their personnel that if anybody is offering a document coming from this DigiLocker platform, it should be accepted. For that to happen, what we did is, as you can see on the right hand side, in the IT Act, we provisioned that any document which is fetch means pulled from an API, will be legally at par with originals. So you can show it, and that would be accepted by any enforcing officer. Similarly, if you see from the Ministry of Railways and Civil Aviation, we all are using people are so well educated now that if anybody is showing their Aadhaar card from DigiLocker, the person will say, please go back and again refresh that this is not a screenshot, this is in real time coming. So now that adoption has taken over, and obviously there is a built-up solution which most of us are using called DigiYatra. It works on the DigiLocker back. So we started back in 2015, where there was an amendment in the IT rules. Then we created this platform. It took 2 years for us to stabilize this platform in 2017, where data exchange and verification was developed. Back in 2019, we amended the KYC rules, which was mentioned in the previous slide. And in 2022, we achieved another milestone that Ministry of Education has notified DigiLocker as a NAD. NAD is a National Academic Depository. So all education boards and universities, for at least the last 10 years, from till date, they have to mandatorily put their data on this platform. So this helps in the future generation with background verification or whosoever wants to go for higher education. And as you can see, till this is just 2-3 days back, the statistics where we are at. So we are almost catering to 1/3 of the population of this country. So these are all active users. These are not passive users. So how DigiLocker works? So we have put citizen in the center. DigiLocker is an application. Then there are two verticals. One is called the issuer, one is called a requester. Now issuer is something like banks or education institutes who are issuing documents which have some legal sanctity. So they can come to this platform, they can expose their APIs, and whosoever is a customer or a citizen wants to access this, he can validate himself and pull these documents. That is one part of the journey. Now these documents, we don't want to make a dump of, there are 10 different websites. We created one common website called DigiLocker. We didn't want to do that. There should be some value creation. That is where requesters come into picture. Anybody doing KYC, anybody doing background verification, if you want to go for higher educations, they ask for documents. So since these digital documents are already available, so you can become a requester also. You can ask them to share these documents directly from the DigiLocker. Now, the best part of this is DigiLocker does not have any document. They have logical links to these documents. For example, if you ask for somebody, say you want to check somebody's credibility and you want their PAN card. So whenever you are hitting for a PAN document, it comes directly from the income tax department in real time. If it's cancelled, if it's blocked, if it's anything, any latest update you will get. So that is the main beauty of this. So it is a real-time KYC enabling tool. So as I mentioned, the service transformation, we have highlighted government, education, and all of these as common services where the citizen interacts with various departments. And we have made a common access control gateway using the auth2 protocols, through which we validate the user who will be the rightful owner of the DigiLocker account. That is one common place, because we didn't want that user to authenticate himself on every platform. So we have created this common gateway through which he can take various services like KYC, academic, financial, and we also have a health locker. We have integrated with ABHA services. So now your health related documents are also commonly seeded in this common platform. This is just a broad list of various documents. So if you can see, various use cases come from these documents. Right from identity to education to bank related, we have account statements and so many banks are issuing these. Then to education, and almost all of insurance sector is covered in this. So if you can see, these are the various issuers who are available on this platform. And on basis of this and taking a citizen's consent, various use cases and journeys can be built as a requester from our partners. So some of our major partners are all these fintech companies, Zerodha and all that. So they take KYC, they do credibility, then banks check for if they're giving education loans, they want to see whether they have genuine records available or not. We have also started reaching out to various embassies where students are applying for visas, to study visas. So now they used to go through multiple agencies to get their data verified. Now these data is directly coming from the source of truth, so the TAT is reduced. We have tried to identify various use cases here, and the ones in greens are readily available on this platform. So as you can see, in all of these 4 cases, whether you're doing onboarding or you're doing KYC or re-KYC, or if there's a claim submission, or even if you're onboarding vendors. So we have the list of We are almost covering more than 60% of the documents which are available. Some documents are very difficult to get, like voter ID. I am hoping we should be able to get it, but it's difficult. But we are in talks to get ITR and passport. So once these documents are available, a lot of the whole kitty of documents to render services will be complete. Now, for the ongoing journey, we have now implemented something called as a nominee. Now, I'll go through the nominee slides after this. There is a verified credentials. What we are doing in verified credentials is that we say that a citizen is coming and he's validating his multiple identities. There's driving license, there's Aadhaar, and there are multiple documents. So basically, we are validating the photo, the name, the date of birth, the address. So if you want to share, why do you want to share an identity? You can share this data. So we have created a verified credential. So it will have a QR code embedding that data, which is verified by multiple sources. And we are trying to push various agencies. Maybe you're doing a hotel check-in. They just need to validate your age and your name. Why do they need your Aadhaar number? Why do you have to give copies? So we are creating this identity. We are trying to do some POCs with them. And if this takes up, so then it will be very easy. A check-in would be just reaching a hotel and scanning a QR similar to DigiYatra. And then the identity will directly go to the enforcement agencies, which they have to do. They have to maintain files and share it across, so that can be done. Then we have, as I mentioned, there's a health locker service which is already implemented. And now, because there are a lot of documents which are related, for example, if there is a car, the RC would be in the name of the father. How would the son be able to access that? So there is a family locker setup also being developed, wherein where you are able to declare your relationships, and those interconnected documents are available to all partners. And then at the end, we'll go to EntityLocker. Now, this is the nominee process flow. There are three substages: how to add a nominee, how the trigger happens when there is a demise of that nominee, person, and if there is a user-initiated demise, if it's not notified through any of those agencies. So on DigiLocker, there is a nominee facility. You can select that. The nominee will have to fill in his details, including his Aadhaar, and get it verified. Once through Aadhaar OTP that nominee is validated, he is added to the parent user's nominee list, and then that user can select upon his demise or upon a trigger what documents that nominee can access. So that facility is already built in. Now, if there's a trigger and it is been given by one of these KRAs of SEBI, right? We have mentioned it in the first one. So if any one of these gives us an event that demise has happened, then a notification will reach to this registered nominee, where a link will be provided through which he'll validate himself first. He'll get it through SMS and mail. He will have to go to the DigiLocker application on website. He'll have to validate himself again through Aadhaar. Once he is validated, then whatever documents that nominee has listed to him, they will have access to those documents. So this helps. There is a lot of unclaimed assets and lot. So this helps in that journey. And since if there's not a trigger from one of these agencies, there could be a user initiated trigger also, which also works in the same flow. But the nominee has to come to this platform, again authenticate himself, and then he can have access to those documents. So all legacy documents, or if you want to have access to accounts or something, that can also be taken care of with this service. Moving forward. So as I mentioned, DigiLocker is trying to give a 360 solution where you become an issuer, you are issuing documents to this platform, and then you can ask the same user to share documents for onboarding, or in the other way around, you can ask a user to come to your platform, for example, a bank. He can come to this platform and open an account using their DigiLocker credentials, share those documents. Once his account is open, you can push a passbook account statement directly to his account. So that complete linkage becomes possible, and then you are a retainer customer, and he doesn't need to visit your branch. He'll be able to access whatever documents you are issuing on those platforms. This is one of the onboarding journeys which I mentioned. So once the customer comes to your portal, you can give him a link to share his documents through his DigiLocker. He will be redirected to this DigiLocker page. Once he does it, there's a screens after this. Once he does that, there will be a consent page. So his consent is mandatory. He'll select what all documents, for what purpose, and for what duration he's going to share with you. Once it is done, then we will redirect that customer back to you. Post that, you can have your payment link if you're rendering any service to him. And then with those credentials available, you can in real-time pull and give that service to that user. So we have just created some screens for a simulated DigiBank. he will come to this platform. He will be, for example, in this case, you want him to update his latest Aadhaar address. So you can give him a button or any link, redirection link, or even a SMS notification to update your details. Once he does that, this is our DigiLocker login page. We have given them multiple options. The common one is a mobile OTP, but we have Aadhaar, DL, and PAN. So he can use any of these identities to log in also. Once he does that and gets an OTP, if he's using Aadhaar, the OTP will be directly coming from UIDAI. Once he does that, this is a consent page, which is important, where he will select what documents are there. If you can see, 2 documents have retracted values in brackets. That means that this particular user has 2 documents readily available in his DigiLocker account. The other 3 are not there, but he's giving consent. What happens is, by doing so, in the token, we will embed that this person has given you consent for his driving license. He is not pulled in. But we expose APIs to you. For such customers, you can just ask them their driving license number and whatever parameters required, and you are able to pull that document for them. So basically, they are handing over their DigiLocker to you to use and then pull that document for both of you guys. And then you can define the purpose, and we have also given access till how long that this token will be valid. So that all access is given to the user. Once he does that, if you see, this is the same banking page, we send that customer back. And this is a flow of our APIs through which you are able to authorize, get the tokens, and then pull the data which is required. So basically the customer journey is he comes to your portal, he is redirected, he logs in, and he gives consent. Once that consent is given, that user's journey is complete. If you see at the right hand side, all of these are backend calls which you have to do to pull that data anytime you want, because the token is valid for 1 hour and we give a refresh token. So for example, there is one use case wherein issuance of FASTag is happening. So whenever you buy a new vehicle, your RC comes after a certain time, right? So you can link your DigiLocker account to that agency who's doing maybe any one of these. Park Plus is already a partner with us. And once you do this, whenever your RC is ready, they will hit and pull that RC and share the FASTag directly to activate it. So like this, multiple journeys are built by various fintech partners of ours. So that was the individual part of the journey which we called DigiLocker. Now we are moving ahead to EntityLocker. EntityLocker is a replication of DigiLocker but for entities. So an entity can define a nodal, and then they can utilize the same service of fetching your company related documents or sharing it to other companies or regulators. So regulators like SEBI, RBI, and CBDT, they are already on board. So for example, you are sharing your quarterly report, so you'll be able to directly share it through APIs to them. It is again under the same model. There is issuing authorities, and then there are requesting agencies. So on this EntityLocker ecosystem, issuing authorities like various, all of these regulators are already onboarded. So you can come, regulators like GSTN, send in details you can get Udyam Aadhaar, then you can get organization PAN and many file licenses and all that in states. So you can come and you can pull these documents, and by linking them through APIs, if there is any change and there is any revocation, all the data you can get in real time. And the requesters are the ones, for example, GEM as a portal. You're doing a lot of tenders. Every time they ask for the same document is for proof of directors and all that. So now linking GEM to this ecosystem makes it easier for you to participate in tenders. Also recently we signed an MOU where we'll be able to get bank guarantees. So this kind of completes the whole journey of bidding. So again, these are various departments which we have linked onto the EntityLocker ecosystem. So as you can see, we have Udyam Aadhaar, we have MCS and then GSTN is there, we get IEC details. And now we are targeting discoms and utility bills so that this kind of caters to all your requirements for maybe issuing credit lines to entities and all that. All right. To open an EntityLocker account, there is a 3-step process. First is the one of the representative, which has to be, you have to later submit the authority letter that this is the nodal officer who will be operating the entity account. You can add multiple people. He gets his Aadhaar verified. Then we verify the entity. 3 steps are there. Now GSTN is also added to this. And then post this, there is a e-signing of an agreement for terms and conditions to use this entity locker account. So this is the first step is Aadhaar verification, which is again Aadhaar OTP based. Then if there is a new user, there is a provision to create a DigiLocker account on the fly, so the journey does not break. Next, he can select one of these identities, whichever is applicable to them. And based on this, the different parameters will change. So if you're, for example, if you're taking GSTN, so it will be organization name and GSTN number. So like this, the parameters will change. And all of these, we will hit their databases in real time and verify the entity, whether the information given is correct or not. Once this, we will ask you to upload what documents are available to you as a two-factor authentication of that entity and also the authorization letter. Once that is done, your account is basically created. And this is one example of where you'll be able to fetch documents. So similar to DigiLocker, there is an issued document section. There is a facility to share your documents, and there's an enterprise vault. In the issued document section, you can search various issuers. For example, we have given an example of Udyam certificate. They will prefetch your verified data. Your organization name and date of incorporation will be there, so that anybody else cannot pull each other's data. Then you'll be asked to enter whatever parameters they have configured. This will be validated, and in real time your certificate will be available onto this platform. This is a list of, we have tried, there is a list later in the slides. I'll show you what all departments data is available. So you are able to search. For example, your PAN verification record is there. There is a lot of licenses and certificates which are available. So this is state specific, which you can pull. Now, we have also given a facility of enterprise vault, because an entity issues a lot of documents internally. It could be purchase orders, it could be MOUs, it could be internal agreements. So we've given a facility where they can upload this, they can encrypt it and digitally sign it. So now maybe tomorrow you are sharing your documentation to, for example, a regulator or GEM as a portal. So you'll be able to share those issued documents and your entity related documents together via APIs to that portal. This is what we have created is a direct sharing feature also between two entity locker accounts, wherein you can search another entity through their PAN or GSTN details, and you can push your document directly to their account, which will be coming in their inbox. And for example, here as a regulator, you want to share your quarterly reports, you are able to do that through this. So as soon as this takes up traction, probably regulators would mandate sharing through the entity locker route. Then since an entity will have multiple people coming in, going in, there will be a hierarchy system. So there's a user management system where you can give access to various parts of this entity, and they'll be able to, you can create a whole system of who will be able to access what part of this entity, and you can, store important documents also into this platform. Now I'm just holding here. So this is a list of documents which are available on the entity locker. We use Tandon, PAN and GSTN to verify an entity. Then as you can see, we have food licenses, IEC, trade licenses, a lot of shop licenses, and all of these, there is another list. So these are the major documents. We already have banks and insurances on board, which are now issuing policies for entities, and maybe like banks are issuing current account statements and loans given to them. And then in the next step, we'll have the e-bank guarantees also available here. So with this kitty of documents, we are able to create this complete digital journey for entity-related transactions also, which we are able to do on DigiLocker right now. So these are some of the articles which had come in. As I mentioned that SEBI has already created that nominee facility through their KRAs, and some of our biggest partners have did some press releases about how DigiLocker and EntityLocker has helped them provide, cater to a large sum of customers. So API Setu, does anybody know about API Setu here? A show of hands, anybody? Okay. So DigiLocker and EntityLocker are the front ends of this platform called API Setu. So API Setu is basically created as a platform where all these entities issuing or requesting can publish their APIs onto this platform, and anybody who wants to build up a use case can discover these APIs, see what requirements they need and what is the response they would get to build a use case. And if they want to use these APIs, they have to take permission of their departments. That is a mandate. So on this API Setu, we have created a sandbox for at least users to try their whatever journey they're trying to build. So there are certain set of documents for which sample data is available, and this link is there through which you can access this portal and be able to test those APIs. Now, why we build DigiLocker and EntityLocker is, on API Setu, this is more of an offline verification, where you're taking offline data and you are feeding that data and getting it verified. But on DigiLocker and EntityLocker, the consent is taken from that consent screen, that web redirection happens. So with that consent capturing, you don't need to take approval of the various departments, because I am giving consent to share my document. So that's why if I met a lot of entities who had come to a stall, and they said they would want to take API Setu, because API Setu seems simpler, because you can, but the thing is consent, and as per the new DPDP guidelines coming in, the user should have complete right to where his data is going, and it should be traceable. That is why DigiLocker and EntityLocker as a solution is there. But if you want, you can discover APIs. We have GSTN, MCA, all of these documents which I mentioned, all these APIs are available on this platform. So you can discover them. For discovering, you don't even need to register to this platform. And then you can take it forward for whatever use case you can build in. But just one requirement is that the department should allow to have access to those APIs. Yes. So this is me. I can take up questions if you have any for all these three platforms, if any. Yes.
So, how you see DigiLocker and e-sign
Yes.
facility? So, it would replace e-sign in future, or you see going hand
Actually,
on
sir,
hand?
DigiLocker and eSign are working in tandem. So we have a facility wherein, so first of all, for a document to be available on DigiLocker, it has to be legally valid. So each department who is issuing a document has to digitally sign that document and make it available to our platform. But we also have a facility in EntityLocker and DigiLocker for a user to upload their documents. So when they're uploading, we are using e-signing facility that the citizen can sign the document and share it across. We have our vendors, CDAC and others, through which we are able to e-sign and share the document. So e-signing is for self-declaration documents. That facility is available, but an issuing authority should ideally digitally sign a document before sharing to make it legally valid.
So, in a use case of say a fintech want some medical data, okay?
Right.
So he has to go through e-sign for verification of data, or he can go.
So, for example, a fintech wants health records, right? Same journey. He can ask that user to share those documents through his DigiLocker.
Okay.
So he will log in, he will give consent to the document, then that entity has a right through the token to call those APIs and pull that document in real time.
So one should not go for e-signing, huh? In the case
E-signing
of,
as a facility is available when you want to use that to digitally sign and make your document legally available.
Okay.
That is a facility. So we are presently getting PAN and PAN verification record, where we give in the income tax department PAN number, name and date of birth, they verify it yes or no. Recently we've got ePAN through their various depositors. The second stage of integration would be ITR and Form 23. So that is where we are discussing with them. Hopefully by end of this year we should be able to get that. We were also getting EPFO member passbook. We get EPFO card, but they are upgrading the system so that member passbook would also be available to help check, employment verification also.
So, the user have to upload his income documents, or we can extract through his OTP consent?
No. So the thing is, for every document, there's a different set of parameters. There is no standardization on this. A user can come and log into that platform. He can give you access to fetch that document. For example, I am a new user, and you say in your journey you want me to share my documents. In that web redirection, there is a sign up option also. So on the fly, I'll create my account, but it will only have probably my Aadhaar card because that is what I validated. But I've given you access for my PAN and my driving license. So we expose APIs to you. We call them, fetch documents API. It is available, through which you'll be able to ask that user, okay, we didn't find your PAN card. Please provide a PAN number. We'll pull it for you. So similarly, you can configure that APIs, and then on the user journey, you can build it. So what happens is, once a user is giving those parameters, you are able to pull it. It is not based on just OTP, because there is no common Aadhaar seeding or anything through which you are able to pull the documents.
Are you guys in touch with the regulators who uses EPAN for KYC?
Yes?
What is the current state for it? I mean, because we have to always show a physical PAN during the KYC process.
No. Presently, no, because I'll tell you, or anybody, for example, we'll take simpler banks and even CBDT and all of them. They are the issuers of this EPAN. They have asked us to help onboard citizens or for re-KYC through the DigiLocker platform. So that, as I mentioned, this 360 solution comes. So a customer will come, they will validate themselves through their different identities, and their EPAN will be pushed to their account.
I guess he is referring to video KYC.
Video KYC, yeah. So what happens is, if you see the various regulators, what they've done is, this is not a replacement or a solution for KYC. This aids in getting valid OVDs for KYC. So what happens is, the telephone regulators are using this. So they will ask you to share your documents to DigiLocker, but then one screen for that video liveliness check will happen, and then you can move forward. We are trying to work on this because we have implemented face matching through Aadhaar and other identities, which takes a live photo of yours. So once that is through, we'll be able to probably take care of that video KYC situation also. But presently that awaits, yeah. Let me answer this in a different way. We have CKYC card available on our platform, so you can pull it. They are validating their data through us. So, and your CKYC ID card is available on the DigiLocker platform. So, it's almost, we are running parallel trains, but since CKYC is already established institution, that identity is also available on this platform. Yes. Hmm. So, yes. Yes. That was one of the biggest hiccups we used to see. A lot of people used to forget their two-factor PIN. So now we have created a journey where they can opt to do a pinless journey. So we are slowly iterating it, but we want to, because now if you're selecting that you want a pinless journey, you are giving consent to not use a PIN. Why we initially started was, if your phone is stolen and somebody has access to it, you just need to put a mobile number, get OTP, you will have access to this account. That two-factor authentication is done for. But if somebody opts for it, they can do that. We have also given solutions that if somebody has forgotten a PIN, just by putting his Aadhaar date of birth, he'll be able to regenerate it. So we are trying different solutions where it can work. But slowly we'll be moving to face authentication. So I think that is more secure.
I have 3 questions.
Yes.
So, say for example, someone has hosted his documents on DigiLocker, or maybe at
Expose
some
this
point
API,
in time he has
basically. Yeah.
fetched given the credentials and you have fetched it.
Yes.
Now, say after a certain point, or let's say for example a driving license, it becomes invalid.
Yes.
Right. So, do you give any notifications to the user on DigiLocker that your driving license is expired, is going to expire?
So
you
there
upload a fresh document or go and renew it.
Right.
Are we doing any such sort of thing?
So there are 2 things. First, the issue document section are not storing documents; they're storing logical links. So whenever you're refreshing your issued document section, our real-time fetch is going to all of these departments.
Okay.
So it will already come read that this is not available. Yes.
Okay. Now coming to entity
Yes,
locker.
locker.
How
Yeah.
many subscribers do we have right now?
So
How
we
many?
have almost 39,000 entities registered with us, and then we are mandating MSME to onboard all of them, all of the entities under them. Yeah.
And when you create an entity account, So you mentioned about some Aadhaar number to be mentioned. Now that
Yes.
Aadhaar number is of the, say, a proprietor or a promoter, or is it of the entity itself, the Udyog
No,
Aadhaar?
no, no, no. So I'll just go back.
Yeah.
This one. Yeah. So here, if you see the authorized representative, yes, and whose authority letter you will be also uploading for record, right? So what we have done is we have used DigiLocker as a base to verify an individual, then we verify the entity through one of these options.
Is there a user journey which can be stitched, maybe if we are trying to say onboard an entity and say
Hmm.
first time, that we can also, so you use your entity locker, it can be used for future, but
Yes.
a first time journey can be maybe through a redirection embedded on, say, any platform.
You can do that, of course.
Okay.
As I mentioned, similar to DigiLocker, I've not got the screens for EntityLocker here. I'll just go back. So this redirection which is happening, it is the same for EntityLocker also. So he'll come on a platform, he'll log in, then the only thing is here he'll get his entity details and then he'll be able to share the documents. So that 360 solution wherein an entity comes and registers through the entity locker through your portal and then he is able to share, that is possible. Yes.
Hi. Sorry.
We'll just yeah,
It was
hi.
a great presentation, firstly, and it was a good journey how you explained everything.
Right.
Second, are you planning to add some documents regarding aviation as well? Because I have a lot of friends and they have certificates expiring every year and
Okay.
every 6 months, like SIM checks, IRPPC. DGCA is the official body for it, and
Yes.
all of it happens on email, and
Yes.
it's chaotic. Like they have to email their various teams asking when is this expiring, when is it set.
Yes.
There are like hundreds of documents every year that are refreshing. So
Right.
are you planning to, build something around it? Because it will save my friend's life.
True. So actually, so we started in 2015. The biggest hurdle we have faced is dealing with data silos. Everybody wants to capture their data and they don't want to expose it to a common platform. That is one of the reasons voter ID is still not coming on to this platform. We are reaching out to various departments, yes. But DGCA, for example, our main priority would be to get passport first. It would be catering to a larger audience, right? But we are in talks to them to get at least because our country does not have an e-passport yet. So we are trying to get a passport verification wherein they will validate the data of a passport which can help as a valid OVD. And then we are obviously increasing KT. Yes,
But
true.
there is a solution at the airports right now, right? Where when we are going outside visa, there is a e-visa thingy where we don't have to stand in line.
Yes.
Are they using DigiYatra underneath it for facial recognition, or is there separate tech?
So DigiYatra is only limited to domestic travel. So visa doesn't come into the picture there.
No, but
Yeah.
maybe it's something else. But
Mhm.
I have seen that instead of standing in line to get a visa stamped,
Yes.
they have to register somewhere like some tea,
So
something.
yeah, so they have a lot of countries have developed this online portal wherein they are taking your data, but this is unfortunately because our identities are not cross-country compatible, so they are not able to use our identities. But for example, passport is one common, so they take scan of that and they ask you to upload your photos, and then they're doing a real-time match to that to ask you.
Got
Let
it.
you in.
So it's in your roadmap if
It is.
it's allowed.
Definitely.
Okay,
Yes,
cool.
of course.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
sure. Hmm. So by gather you mean you want? Yes, yes, of course. As I mentioned, I'll just go back 1 second. Yes. So if you can see, we have account statements, loan statements, and TDS certificates already. User has to fetch, and again, if he has not fetched, he gives you his details, so you can also pull it for him. So everything is real time. So it is dependent on with the various banks. Maybe they have in the parameters they've said last 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. You can select what you want to take, or most are just giving last 30 days statement. So
User has to put up, register in DigiLocker that all his bank statements, and then we can
he can. Yeah, ideal case would be that he fetches his.
number and OTP.
No, not through phone number OTP, because again, if
See some startups where they are able to provide.
so, what they're doing is they must be taking PAN somewhere in the journey, and they're hitting one of these databases and then pulling that data.
Yes, that
Here, what you're doing is we have linked to each and almost we are 18 banks live right now, including all public sector banks. So you can go and you can put in your parameters. They have asked for account number and maybe time frame for which you want the statement, and then that is available. Why we've asked banks to share this is because it also acts as a valid proof of address and proof of identity, proof of address majorly, because one of our biggest solution is whenever you're doing issuing a passport or renewing a passport, it gives you two options. You can go through the conventional way or you can use DigiLocker. So once you're using DigiLocker, this was one of the documents they always used to seek. So we have been managed to get
So
that.
I have to put my PAN and also I have to mention how many banks I have. All that I have to put. I have put up.
So that this is that account aggregator framework. What DigiLocker does is we are giving you access to all of these various departments on this one platform. There is no common. You put one parameter and you'll be able to get all of that. That's a different framework.
Hi.
Hi.
So my query is specific to verifiable credentials.
Yes.
Aadhaar, they themselves with their new app, they are allowing that flow where you can create your VCs and all, and they are directly reaching out to the entities also.
Yes.
So my query is for entities who want to integrate that flows, should we reach out to DigiLocker or work directly with Aadhaar?
So first of all, see, DigiLocker is a part of NEGT, National Government Division, under MeitY. So is UIDI, which issues Aadhaar.
Yeah.
Now the difference between UIDI and DigiLocker is that UIDI will only give you Aadhaar. We are making verified credentials of your PAN or your driving license also, if you don't want to rely on Aadhaar. So it's same technology, same service, but
identity verification can be done with Aadhaar too also, right?
Of course.
For a hotel check-in or something like that.
Yes.
You just need to prove that you are 18 years or above or
Yes. Yes.
those things. So that's where from consumer side, if we have to enable any solutions,
yes.
Would directly going with Aadhaar would make more sense for entities or?
If you are primarily relying only on Aadhaar, yes. If you want a KD of more documents, not only Aadhaar, then you come to DigiLocker. Because Aadhaar is one primary document which we have. But if you, there are certain set of people in this country who don't have their Aadhaar. There are. The whole population is not on that spectrum. So they will probably use their PAN card or driving license to prove their identity.
People not having Aadhaar but having PAN is, I don't
Yeah.
think.
Yes.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Got it. So is this verifiable credentials flows and all? Can we check in?
Yes, it is.
Setu?
It is readily available on the DigiLocker application.
App it is available,
Yes,
but can
yes.
we for sandbox for solutions?
We
just to
have
check,
exposed
is it-
certain DigiLocker APIs also for development. You'll have to check whether verified credentials is there.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
It
yet,
is not because we have
correct.
just created. It's just a 2-3 month back facility which we have enabled.
Okay.
But we want it to get traction first, so that then people can later use it too. Because what it does, it takes your primary data and creates a scannable QR or an image which you can share across. Sure. There was a question there. Yeah.
It was fantastic session. So a question related to the security part.
Yes.
Have you seen any kind of fraud cases in this platform? And if what precaution we need to take care? Yeah.
So fraud would happen when we are custodians of data. As I mentioned, everything is coming in real time. So there is no data available on DigiLocker, except the person who has authenticated himself through Aadhaar or driving license, and we issue some unique codes to them once they are verified. So all of this data which is coming in is in real time. So if any fraud happens or any misrepresentation is happening, it is happening at the source of truth. We are just a document exchange platform.
So the question here will be, if my account, DigiLocker account, get hacked
Yes.
because of some reason,
Yes.
that guy has access to all my documents,
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
That is the biggest. I see.
And by hacked, meaning that he knows your mobile OTP access there, and you've given your 2PIN, or is able to somehow
Two-pin,
do a face-
as you said, right? My
if
mobile
you
phone.
opt for that journey, then that is a risk which you are taking. And then there is this face match is also now available. There we have done SIM binding also. So we have tried to cater to it's as simple as that. For example, if you give to your partner that you can use login, or maybe you're creating for your kids, so that you can do. But that is a consent which you are taking.
Okay, that is a precaution we need to take care.
Yes.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
of course.
There was a mention of family locker in the PPT.
Yes.
Could you just tell us more? Is it a sub feature in DigiLocker, or is it?
It is a sub feature
another?
in DigiLocker,
Okay.
but now presently we have nominee. We'll be bringing the family part also, where you can declare that this is my mother, this is my son, my daughter, whatever. With that, you'll be able to. Presently, what we've done is we have kept some leeway. For example, you are driving your father's car, so the RC will have the father's name, but certain parameters will match, or the surname will match and something. So we have kept that leeway so that you are also able to access that document. But with family locker, he will declare that this person with this identity is my son. So documents which are correlating, that can be fetched mutually.
Okay. Thank you.
I see there was a hand raised someplace. Any other queries? Anybody?
So
Yes.
for a borrower, I mean,
Yeah.
for a person who would like to borrow a loan or something,
Yes.
so a banker can come here. I mean, if the borrower has registered in DigiLocker and put all his income-related KYC and other property documents here, if a banker has access to this DigiLocker, he can exchange and fetch all the data.
Yes.
It is possible.
Yes. Also, another use case what you can think of is if with consent you have this data available, you can see what line of credit you can issue to somebody, or maybe what credit card he can avail. So, a lot of banks, SBI, and all of them, they are using it for credit card issuance also.
So for that,
User has to one time come link and share that data. Then once that is available, yes, yes, you are doing a KYC also, and then you are moving forward also. Sure. Right. Thank you. I think okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you.